Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine in. The sun shining.
It's out there.
It's out there today. We don't know how long, but it's out there.
It was right pleasant this morning.
Yes,
you
it
know.
is.
It was
A lot of the heat's gone.
Maybe the 70s.
Yes, a lot of the heat's gone, but it'll be back.
It'll be back, I guarantee you. Yeah.
August, Peggy.
I know.
It's August.
It's hard to, the 2nd, 3rd, something like that.
Second of August.
It's hard to believe it's already here. The
And
days are already getting a little longer. Have you noticed that? Not much, but they're getting a little longer.
So it's just summertime, summertime. It'll be hot because it's summertime.
I have an interesting young man coming on the show this morning.
Yes.
I hope you'll stay tuned. His name is Andrew Branch. I hope I've got that right.
Branch, yeah.
And anyway, he's second for Hank Williams.
Senior.
Yeah, it's just amazing what he can do.
In the country show,
which is coming up a weekend
the 12th,
after
13th,
this.
and 14th
Right.
of August.
It's on top of us. You need
Yes,
a
it is.
If you want a ticket, buy them now because you can get them a little cheaper.
Get them a little cheaper.
Less expensive. Cheap is not a good word.
Cheap's not a good word.
Nothing's cheap anymore.
No, and if the price is cheap, the product's usually cheap too.
Yeah.
I mean, it just
We've
is.
got a lot of great people in this show.
It's wonderful.
It's just amazing what I've watched grow into seasoned performers.
Yes.
You know, I look at Osteel, Connor, and I remember when he was like about this high, and now he's just fabulous.
Well, and we have we have several new people
We have a lot
in
of
the
good
cast
people,
this year.
and I like that.
And there's a lady that's moved into the area, Lou Ann Nolan.
She's a wonderful
and she's
singer.
very good. And she was questioning backstage. We were sitting there waiting on people to go in and go do their stuff at practice, and I was explaining to her that South Jackson Goes Country is like a family reunion.
It really is.
And I said, now this lady over here is Amy Argo. And I remember when she came on with her daddy, Gary Argo, and she was about this tall.
I know.
Now she's singing with her daughter, Gary Argo's granddaughter.
Right.
And so there's 3 or 4 generations
Yeah.
of people. This is the 43rd year.
I know. That's pretty amazing.
So there's
isn't it?
3 generations of people who've been on that show since the beginning. And a lot of us don't see each other, but during country show.
That's
because
true.
some
Yeah.
of them are in Franklin County and
Mary Jane is
Bedford
flying
County
in from
and-
Oregon
yeah,
again.
flying in from Oregon
I know,
to be
isn't that cool?
in the country show.
Because she loves these people, and it's a neat thing that she does. I have to hand it to Samantha Waters.
Brilliant.
She has been able to take on what, when I started, I had a little help, but not massive
much.
amount of help, and now it's grown quite a bit. And,
Yes, it has.
I'm so fortunate that she has been willing to step in. You know, nobody takes your place, but they make their own mark, and she is a fabulous
Certainly.
entertainer as well as a worker of the arts, and I'm so proud of her.
Well, Samantha has a wonderful management skill.
She really does.
She's what do they call them? Showrunners. She runs show. She runs a show. I guarantee you, she could go to New York, Broadway, wherever.
She could.
And she could run just about any show that they give her to run, given enough time to understand what the show is.
Right, and
She
we have
is a planning genius.
and we have Jacqueline Sullinger, who has, you know, done all the dances. And the other night when we first put them on stage with the band, it was awesome, I thought.
They were right on spot.
And then there's Martha Brooke Powers Hood, who does the warm-up show now all by herself.
And with the children.
And I've just watched them since they were like here.
Martha Brooke isn't she a first or second grade teacher?
Yes, I'm not sure which one, but yes, she teaches.
That's what she does for a living, is teach little people.
Right.
And she does the warm-up show
we're
with our little people.
We're so blessed that these people went on to college and came back to Tellahoma.
Yes.
Often that doesn't happen, and I hope that Tellahoma will remain a town that can draw the people that grow up here back.
We're working hard on it,
Right.
and that brings about a point that I want to make right now is the election. If you're watching this on Tuesday night, which this is Tuesday, the election is Thursday the 4th.
Right.
If you're watching it on Thursday morning when it runs at 9 o'clock, it's today.
Go vote.
Go vote, and if you're watching the 6:30 show on Thursday night or the Friday or Saturday show, you probably missed it.
Absolutely.
But we're on Charter Channel 193. We're on LightTube. We're on Channel 6, The Link on that's our YouTube channel.
When does this-
We're on Facebook.
When does this run on LightTube?
It runs numerous times. I don't really know.
Just different
Different
times.
times. I don't know what they are.
And so the good part is, if your mama doesn't have Charter or LightTube, she can go onto YouTube.
Go on YouTube. Watch the YouTube channel. And we will be, Philip will correct me because he's right behind this door right here. Our election show will be on Thursday night. Start at
Thursday
what,
night.
Philip? 7? 7 o'clock. It will be on our channel. It will be on LightTube, and we will also stream it, right? Yes. So it'll also be streamed on our
Good.
YouTube channel
That's great.
and on our Facebook channel. So you have no reason not to find out who's elected. Now, if you don't vote, see, the thing about it is once a politician is elected, you really don't have a whole lot of control.
That's
You
right.
think you do, but you don't. The only
No.
control you have is which one you put in the seat.
Exactly.
And the only way you can do
Let's
that
go vote.
is to vote. So if you don't vote and they don't do something that you like, you can't really complain because it's your own fault.
Right,
because you didn't vote.
Yeah. You have-
So,
you
and
have to
there's
stand
the
up.
links right there to our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. So you can watch everything we do on those two locations, no matter whether you have
No matter-
television
right.
or not,
So-
as long as you have internet.
Anyway.
Isn't that great?
It is fabulous. You had a good week?
I've had a good week. We've had a lot going on.
I was glad to see the rain, frankly.
Rain is a good thing. Rain makes corn, corn makes
Makes
whiskey, and that makes girls a little bit frisky.
Oh.
What a great country song. That's a country song.
Yeah, you're right. You got the tune yet?
Yeah, no, I mean it is. It's been on the radio for years.
Oh, okay.
No, it's somebody. I wish I'd have written that song.
I wanted to thank all the people that came out for the ice cream social, even though the rain was just hammering down. And it was not a huge crowd, but it was nice to see all the people that came. We had
Sure.
a good time. The ice cream was fabulous.
Who provided the ice cream?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I won't
That's
give.
okay.
I'm afraid I'll give a plug to wrong people.
Wrong somebody.
And I want to thank all the sponsors for South Jackson Goes Country. We are very fortunate so many continue to support what we're trying to do at South Jackson. Not just about this country show, it's about
It's about the
a
arts.
lot of things.
It's about the arts, and what I wanna say thank you to, and I'm sure you as well, is we seem like we have found a new pool and insurgence of volunteers. We have, of course, you never have enough volunteers.
There's never enough volunteers.
But we have some great volunteers at South
Yes, we
Jackson
do.
who help to put these productions on.
Actually, an art center or a fine art center or a theater type center, museum, all that
Right,
would not exist without volunteers.
without their volunteers. And
That's
so,
it takes a
for them,
massive
we
amount of
thank
people.
you. And you people who stop by and just enjoy what happens in our little town, and you walk into one of these places, the art center, the science center, it's so cheap to buy a membership.
Right.
A family membership to South Jackson Civic Center is what, $35 or $40?
I don't know for
You know,
sure.
yeah,
I pay
but
stuff.
it's nothing. And be a member. And then that way you don't have to worry about, well, I wonder what's going on, because you'll have access
You'll
to
have
what's
access.
going
And
on.
the same goes for fine arts and
Sure. And it
hands-on
makes those
science.
memberships make a great,
Really
great
does.
bit of difference.
And even if you're not able to go to everything that happens, supporting this for our community is very important. I think our children are better for it.
Yep.
They grow up in a community where there's things to do besides,
Be a hoodlum.
yeah, right.
Be a hoodlum. And the thing about it is most of these facilities, when you join, your membership has enough discounts at different stores around town to pay for itself.
Exactly. I get
Just in discounts on food and shoes. Clayton's, you go to Clayton's, you go to a lot of these stores, you get 10%, 20% off.
I can go to Celtic Cup and get a free cup of coffee.
Free cup of coffee,
That's fabulous.
Fuel's so good, same
I know,
thing.
a lot
all
of
these
places.
different people who
We don't have
who
time to
buy
thank
into
everybody,
it's
but,
free, your
yeah.
membership ends up being free.
And if you're out there wanting to support something, 455-5321 or go online, southjackson.org.
.org. And I want you to remember this. I said it before and I'll say it again.
Let's hear it.
How old is old enough to be grown? Hobbits come of age at 33. Americans say 18. You could die for your country, but you can't drink a beer. Who's wise enough to set the parameters? The media, institutions, preachers, teachers, or the bright light that shines through your soul? Only you know how and when and where you reach the age of understanding. No one else should set that date for you. No one knows when your inner awakening will take place. Surely not politicians. We'll be right back after these messages.
Thank you, John.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tellahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! I've got one!
Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tellahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and I'm glad to have our city planner, head of our planning commission, and the head, I probably won't get it right, but she is the head of what's going on around here as far as codes and planning is concerned, Mary Samaniego, and she's here with me again because, as we said, Election Day is Thursday, and much to my disappointment, the 2040 plan has been postponed enough times to where now it's become a political battlefield in our automatic election. And it shouldn't be, it shouldn't have anything to do with that, but it has, because people are talking about nobody understands it, and why did we spend this money, and why is this land going to be done this way? And I'm not for that at the last minute. And I just want Mary to try to, again, give us an explanation of what that plan encompasses and what it really means, because as we discussed before, it is the culmination of many meetings held in every location imaginable in town where the citizens could come and share their wishes, their wants, their needs, their ideas. And then a renowned company throughout the United States of America with some of the smartest planners that there is, were hired to take this information and put it into a package to where we could see some things that may or may not happen inside the city limits of Tellahoma. And one of the things I want to say before we get into this is, I think it was about 12 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, that the state of Tennessee came out with an edict that said towns cannot annex anymore. You can't just reach out because I want this piece of property and I want the taxes off of it and annex.
Correct.
Your city limits are set. Your growth area is beyond that. But for that area to be annexed, the people who live there have to ask to be annexed.
Correct.
Their wells are running dry. Their septic tanks don't perk anymore. Please, Telehome, would you come annex us and give us public services? Without that happening, we're landlocked.
Correct.
And we don't have a whole lot of property inside the city of Tellahoma to be developed. Not a great deal.
Okay.
And whether you like it or not, whether the citizens like it or not, or whether the politicians like it or not, the whole United States of America is moving to the Mid-South. And they're coming from everywhere, and they're not being requested to come, they're coming. They filled up Nashville. It's the #1 destination city in the country right now, one or two. Had a great meeting in Manchester with the Commissioner of Tourism last week, who explained tourism equals dollars, and they're coming to Tennessee. And they filled up Nashville, they filled up Murfreesboro, and they're headed toward Tellahoma. Whether you like it or not, we don't have anywhere for anybody to live. I have a friend who bought a house recently, a year ago, at a development on Avoca, and a house exactly like it just sold that was built a month ago for $70,000 more than they paid for their house a year ago, because there is nowhere for people to live. You say you want industry. We need industry. We need jobs. That's great. Got nowhere. Where are the people going to live who come here to work? We don't have anywhere. So we've got to do something. Now, I ask you explain again what we have here in the 2040 plan, how it was developed, and what is going to happen there, or if nothing is going to happen there, because it has to be reevaluated every time a new piece of property is developed, right?
Yes. So, thank you.
Okay.
Again, Mary Samaniego, Planning Director. So yes, we're currently still in the planning process to get the comprehensive plan adopted. As you stated, and as I've stated before, we've gone over the past year to get as much public input as we can to put in the thoughts of the residents of Tellahoma into the plan, because again, this isn't my plan, this isn't the consultant's plan, this is the residents of Tellahoma's plan of what your vision is for Tellahoma, and the consultants and I are basically, I tell people we're like technical writers.
Right.
We take all that information based on public input and review of the existing conditions, kind of like how much housing inventory is in Tellahoma now? How many jobs are in Tellahoma? What are the conditions of the roads? How much sewer capacity is? How much
Schools.
school capacity
Right.
there is? So we get that, and then we get the desires of the residents, maintain our school system, more sidewalks, slow, steady residential growth, high-end apartments, high-end townhomes. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that request. High-end apartments, high-end townhomes, better jobs, more industry. So we take those two kind of components and put them together and create the plan. As I've said, we've tried to solicit a lot of public comment, but it's still an active document. And even though some residents, as they say themselves, were kind of late to the game, we'll still take that input.
Sure.
And revise the plan or look at the plan accordingly. So now there's concern about the amount of potential housing development. That's the main issue at this point
Right,
that I've
sure.
seen, the amount of housing development. I can say that the plan isn't a catalyst for growth, that growth is already here. I have a database in my office of all the subdivision approvals over the last 6 years, and I can see 2017 there were 50 lots created. 28, and again, I'm making these numbers off the top of my head, I'm just giving you a context.
Sure.
2018, 30 lots were created. 2019, 80 lots were created. But since 2020, and again with COVID and the recession, and 2020 we had something like 200 lots created. 2021 we had almost 300. So growth is here. So this plan is to manage that growth. It's not to facilitate
Right.
the growth. And I think that's a key point that people need to get their kind of mind around. We're not trying to promote growth. Growth is already coming. We're getting subdivision proposals left and right in my office. We've already approved something like 400 lots this year alone. It's calendar year 2022, and it's only the beginning of August. So developers are coming here. So the plan will help us, the city, manage those subdivision approvals as far as making sure the required infrastructure is in place, and like I said, sewer capacity, schools capacity, and also get set up tools within the zoning code and the subdivision code to get better products, better looking subdivisions, better quality buildings.
Right. Now, I'm gonna ask a question, because this is sort of the way I think things are gonna happen. I mean, everybody's talking about, the people that were at the board meeting the other night were all from Terra Estates and Macon Manor. Because of the Anderson Farm.
Correct.
Which is
Well,
218 acres.
Yeah.
In between the back of Terra Estates that has a stub or a stem that goes into it, over into Eddie's, or the Anderson Farm
Yeah.
now, Becky Anderson and Ian, their farm.
Yep.
That they couldn't manage because of their life.
Yeah.
And they wanted to sell it, tried to sell it for a couple of years,
Yep.
and finally somebody bought it. Okay. There is a proposal on how that land could be used. That does not mean that's how that property is going to be used.
Right.
When that proposal hits and goes before the planning commission, just because it's one of the ideas that the planners put in and that you're writing up, does not mean that's what's going to happen there.
Right.
It goes back through public
Comment.
process, and people get to come and jump and dance and scream and holler again, and then it gets voted on. Just to stop the adoption of the plan is like saying, okay, you don't get to build the frame of the car until I decide what kind of wheel I'm going to put on. I want a square wheel. Now adopt the frame of the car to run on 4 square wheels. It's a living, breathing document.
Correct.
That will change all the way to 2040.
Right. Exactly.
Nothing is set in stone here. It's just ideas from the citizens, not from the planners. Now, they've taken those ideas and taken the framework of this car we're gonna drive, or this pot of soup we're gonna build.
Right.
And
Wrote out the recipe.
wrote out a recipe.
Right.
Now, do you, because you hadn't decided what kind of icing you put on the cake, or are you going to throw the batter out half cooked?
Right. Right. I hear you. I don't know if the people are thinking of throwing out the plan. I think they just have concerns about that one element of the plan where they are, the plan is allowing for an option of doing mixed-use developments in the kind of suburban areas of Tellahoma. And the thought behind that is that the hired economists did a housing study that showed that Tellahoma is undersupplied with apartments and townhomes. And there's definitely room to grow for single-family housing. So they took that, and again, I'm simplifying it, but that basic data, and then they asked a survey question in the online survey that they did that over 1,000 people completed, saying what type of housing do you want to see in Tellahoma? The second most popular answer was a mixed-use residential product. By mixed-use residential product, I'm talking about like a neighborhood that has single-family houses in one phase, townhomes in another phase, and maybe apartments in a third phase, where it's all one development, but different types of dwellings. So that was the second most popular answer. So they're like, okay, there's definitely a need for residential housing, and the residents of Tellahoma appear to want to do it in mixed-use products. So they targeted large vacant pieces of property, because the only way to get a mixed-use product is to do it on a vacant piece of property, as opposed to it's just not economically feasible for a developer to buy 2, 5, 10 acres of developed land, demolish everything, and then build. That's just not going to happen.
No.
So then they targeted vacant pieces of property in the suburban areas for those developments.
Yeah.
And we put specifically in it, you're not allowed to do it legally by right. You have to request a planned unit development to get approval to do one of those projects. And within the planned unit development process, it requires 3 public hearings. You have to submit a traffic study, hydrology study, all these studies, and it has to be compatible with both the plan, once it's adopted, and the surrounding area. And the city can ask for, through part of just the basic planned unit development process, it's a negotiation between the developer and the city. The developer can ask for different types of housing or some small commercial component, but the city can also ask for, say, we need land for a new fire station. We want to regulate the types of housing you built. In a normal subdivision, we can't regulate what the houses look like.
In a PUD you can.
In a PUD you can. We can say, instead of in a normal subdivision, you only have to put sidewalks on one side of the street. We can say, we want sidewalks on both sides of the street. We want this kind of fencing. We want this type of, we want you to dedicate a park to us.
Sure.
We can ask for all sorts of additional amenities that we can't through the subdivision process. And then on the other end, the flip side of it, I'm watching the clock.
That's
the flip side of it,
you can have forever.
if a planned unit development is going to adversely impact the city's infrastructure and or the adjoining property owners, we have every legal right to deny it.
Yeah.
So if we get a product where they're proposing to develop 500 units all at once, that's clearly going to overload our school system.
Sure.
And we would say, no, this isn't good for Tellahoma. This doesn't meet our vision. This doesn't meet the plan. The plan doesn't encourage that.
Right.
The plan encourages slow, steady growth, keeping up with existing infrastructure that's in place now and planned for expansion.
You know, and a lot of people don't realize on that piece of property over on Grundy Street,
Yeah.
there's, I know of 2, because Eddie Thomas's driveway is one, and there's another gravel driveway over there, and I know that there's one more road cut.
Yeah, Lehman.
Road
There's
cut that
Lehman,
lines
there's
up.
Jerry Street. Yeah, there's all.
There's three, I
Yeah.
know of 3 and maybe 4 road cuts that comes
That can connect.
out of that property over to Grundy Street, over to Lincoln Street.
Right.
You know, a lot of people saying, oh, well, the only way out of there is going to be through Terra Estates. That's
No.
not true.
That's not true.
So,
That's not true.
you know,
Nor,
we need to
nor would we put that much traffic directly onto Terra Estates.
Yeah, so you
So-
need to look, you need to know really more about the property, but the thing about it is we don't even get to go into the next process until we adopt the
The plan.
framework.
Right.
And, you know, we've spent a lot of money over the years in this town having plans done and having research done, and very little, if any, has ever come out of those plans.
Yeah.
Because at the last minute, somebody steps up and says, "We don't want this." So I'd say in my span of understanding what's going on, my dad was chairman of the Regional Planning Commission in 1966, which was over 8 counties in Middle Tennessee, and I have a plan somewhere of a bypass around Tellahoma from 1966 that went down Kings Lane,
Yeah.
went through that very
Yeah.
same property we're talking about,
Yep.
out to the Manchester Highway.
Yep. And then
Down
around.
Kings Lane,
I've
down
seen that.
Cedar Lane, all the way around to the viaduct and to the Manchester Highway,
Yep.
which was not approved.
Nope.
TDOT comes in here and spends no telling how much money working on a bypass, probably several $1,000,000, and around Tellahoma, and gets right to the last trigger point, and people show up and say, "No, we don't want this." TDOT goes and builds one around Shelbyville,
Yep.
builds whatever they want, and you know, one of the things people ask for is, we need a walk bridge across Jackson Street from the high school for kids. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
But we don't get to build that because that's a state highway.
Yeah. We actually are trying to get that built now.
Yeah,
It's not over, it's just across with a light.
right.
But I'm just saying,
But
right, but we're
again,
trying to get that
that's
done. Yes,
TDOT's
that's been discussed.
decision.
Right, it is.
And after TDOT spent millions of dollars planning on a bypass in this town and we turn it down, how happy are they going to be to come
Right.
back here and service Tellahoma?
Right.
Not very.
Right, I mean, and
So,
that's,
you know, there's a lot of things that go into these, and I just think people need to understand, we are not going to stop growth.
right,
It is on us. It's coming like a train.
it's already here. That's what I'm trying
It's
to tell
just, do
people.
you
It's
want
already
to
here.
manage it or you want to get run over by it?
Right. Well, and one thing also to think about, there are 20,000 residents in Tullahoma. Even if there were 10,000 or 10 residents in Tullahoma, not everybody's going to agree on everything.
No, heavens no.
But, you know, we try to.
We're all from different-
We have to plan for the entire city,
Yeah, and there's people from
Just
all
people
over
have
the
to
world
compromise.
live here.
right? So,
And, you know, we just got to get behind the people who plan and look at what we're doing and use common sense about it.
Yeah.
And realize that Tellahoma is more than just your backyard. It's everybody's backyard.
right,
And we're all needing to grow slow, but with a plan.
right.
And so I just want to thank you for taking your time away from your day, because I know it's very, very, very hectic
Yep.
in your life right now. And I hope people realize that there's nobody over there in the city that's going to gain anything by any of this. You're doing your job
Yep.
that you were asked to do
Yep,
by the citizens and by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen as a staff member of the city of Tellahoma, and a very knowledgeable, well-educated staff member. And I'm very proud of you for the seat that you've been given, because you deserve it as much as anybody I've ever seen.
well, thank you.
And I appreciate your honesty and your translucence.
Transparency.
Transparency.
I'm glowing.
Transparency, because you're not here to gain anything. You're here to serve and protect.
Yep, yeah, I'm just
Okay.
doing a job.
Mary Samaniego,
Yep.
thank you, dear.
Thank you.
For spending your time, and I hope this clarifies all of this for some people.
Yeah,
But we've got to move forward, and you be part of it instead of not part of it, because it's going to happen. We'll see you after this message.
Clayton's has been Tellahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tellahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman. And this is Pat Welch, and John, we're here for the Conversations of John and Pat, segment 36. 36.
It's going. It's there. I want to do a song for you, Pat.
All right.
This is one that people remember. I think it was recorded by the Kingston Trio in 1958. It's called Tom Dooley.
Oh, yeah.
Very good song.
Yeah. And the Kingston Trio was really good folk singers that I can, I've YouTubed them a couple times and just got very,
you know,
going back to the 60s.
All songs do not have to be complicated. Now, if you folks out there want to look at my fingers playing the chords, it's only 2 chords in this song.
As musically illiterate as you thought or think I am, John. That's a capo you got above those fingers, isn't it?
That's right. There have been many songs written about the eternal triangle. This one tells of a Mr. Grayson, a beautiful woman, and a man named Tom Dooley. When the sun rises tomorrow, Tom Dooley must die. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die. I met her on the mountain. There I took her life. I met her on the mountain. Stabbed her with my knife. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die. This time tomorrow, reckon where I'll be. Hadn't have been for Grayson, I'd been in Tennessee. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die. This time tomorrow, reckon where I'll be. Down in some lonesome valley, hanging from a white oak tree. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Now, boy, hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to Oh boy, you're bound to die.
Wow, John. That's
1958.
I thought that was comparable.
I was
to
young.
The Kingston Trio, but the introduction was far superior.
Well, thank you, Pat.
Yeah.
I doubt that, but you know.
No, I'm not just playing lip service here.
We're going to show several pictures today of a letter that my daddy, we had a secretary, old secretary, which is the same thing as a desk, up in our front room at Chapel Hill. And there were letters in there. I remember these letters laying there. Nobody ever bothered them. And they had been passed down from my great-great-grandmother's sister, I think. I think that's the way it came. But one of the letters, I'll let Philip, if he will, put that letter up. This letter was one of those. And it you know, it's very fluid writing. And it was to Colonel Aaron Boyd. He calls him General Boyd. That's flattery, I guess, but really Colonel Boyd was the proper ranking, whatever that part of service he was.
Who's writing the letter?
A fellow named Edward Zane Carroll Judson. We didn't know this in the beginning. This is what's really fantastic. Sometimes these letters can be there and you don't know who they are from. Well, it was from EZCJ, or Edward Z.C. Judson. And there's a fellow north of Chapel Hill who is a historian, and I showed him the letter, and he said, you know, I think I know who that is. And we're going to tell him in just a minute. And let me read the letter. Go ahead, and maybe you can see that on the TV screen. This is written from the Franklin House nearly a year ago. Dear sir, I promised you a likeness that was given me by your son, drawn by his own hand from a looking glass. They didn't call mirrors looking glass before him. I have just found the picture and hastened to send it to you, enclosing it through your kind friend, Mr. Eli S. Wood of Nashville. Take it, my dear sir, as a memorial of your noble son, whom I love dearly. And when you look upon it, I pray you sometimes think of me, as one who has seen some hard knocks in this world and who has been sinned against more than sinning. That's sort of interesting. But you can tell whoever wrote this was he was a well-written person, and the cursive writing that he learned used was so nice. It was written from the Franklin House, and but it has no date on it. But this young man...
Do you know where the Franklin House is?
Well, either Philadelphia or New York, I think. I was told this not too long ago. I found out that was maybe the place. Show the picture of the young man that's a picture of Joseph Britton Boyd, probably some distant kin to Harry Britton. I don't know, maybe. I've always thought that anyway. But they lived above. Story. They lived. It'll pull somebody else into the legend.
That's right.
But anyway, that was a picture of him. Now, Philip showed the last picture. This was Edward Zane Carroll Judson, alias Ned Buntline. On the left, you see that's Ned Buntline, along with Buffalo Bill Cody and Texas Jack. Let me tell you a little bit about Edward Zane Carroll Judson. He was a ruffian. He was an entrepreneur. He was the first person to put out, as I understand, dime Western novels in the West. And some of them were written about Buffalo Bill. And then later on, he would produce Buffalo Bill in some of his stage shows. So this is a very interesting letter from a man that my wife and I drove there not too long ago to Cody, Wyoming, and there we went to the Buffalo Bill Museum. I took the letter that you saw in the beginning to the curators, and they were carried away about that.
That's great.
It was. It's a good letter, and I would like to challenge anyone out there that might have old letters in your files. You can never know where they're from. Another little thing about Ned Buntline.
John, how do you spell that last name?
Buntline?
Mm-hmm.
Buntline. You thought you could trick me, didn't you?
No, I knew you could spell it. I just wanted to be sure I was hearing correctly there.
But on the old Wide Earp show, I don't know if you remember that. It was a serial show back in the 50s, early 60s.
Do I remember it? Keep going. I've got a great
He
story
had
on
a
that.
Buntline special, and that was told that Ned Buntline made these large guns and gave them to certain people, one being Wide Earp.
John, I'm going to follow through with a not as historical, but you mentioned that TV show, and you're the first one that I've ever talked to or heard speak of that show. But they had a commercial when I was about 5 years old, and Wyatt had taken a villain and tied his feet and raised him up to some barn rafters and had him eye level upside down. And he put a gun to his head and he said, "So-and-so, I'm going to make you speak upside down or I'm going to turn you inside out." Well, me and I've been 5, my brother, ex-brother been about 4, and the next one had been about 3. We thought that was the greatest cowboy scene we had ever seen. And my mother took a nap in the afternoon normally, and we snuck outside when we were supposed to be sleeping and took every toy we had, tricycle, metal cars that you'd pedal, anything, and stacked them up. And I climbed that tower to the first branch, and we tied a rope to my feet and tied it to that branch. And then my brothers pulled the lower toys out, and I went straight down. And they pulled out a cap gun, and for about 5 minutes told me that I was going to speak upside down or they're going to turn me inside out.
That's why the media needs to be real careful about what you present.
Correct. And well,
and it's time to go, Pat.
After about 5 minutes, the blood came to my head. My mother was up from the nap, and I saw her upside down through the kitchen window, and her eyes, she came out with a butcher knife, and that was the start of my neck problems because she cut me down in one swipe. And your statement is correct. The media needs to be careful about what they project.
And we need to be careful about what we say.
That is correct. That is correct.
And maybe they'll have us back.
And I don't know if my mother ever recovered from finding her son hanging upside down in a tree.
All right, let's sign off.
Hey, we need to sign off, John. That was segment 36, but that's not the end of our stories.
No.
We've got lots of conversations to go. Thank you.
The Bookshelf in Tellahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tellahoma is where we sell used books which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
MacArthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at MacArthur Manor, we'll treat you like family.
Caring.
Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest.
Engaging.
With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at MacArthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tellahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tellahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tellahoma, and have some fun with Tellahoma Parks and Rec.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we could find us a brand new recipe? I got a hot rod Ford and a $2 bill, and I know a spot right over the hill. If you wanna have fun, come along with me. Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? I'm free and ready, so we can go steady. How's about saving all your time for me? No more looking, I know I've been tooken. How's about keeping steady company? I'm gonna throw my date book over the fence and buy me one for 5 or 10 cents. I'll keep it till it's covered with age, 'cause I'm writing your name down on every page. Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me?
Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to appear on South Jackson Goes Country on the Sunday show in the Opry segment, so get your tickets. Andrew, that was fabulous. And this is his father, Chris. They're here from Murfreesboro, is that right? Yes. And he's been making that long drive to rehearsals when needed to be, and it's just been an honor for me to hear his voice. And don't worry about missing a word once in a while. I've done that a million times. I've done it in front of a lot of people. I loved it. You did a great job. Andrew, I wanted to ask you a question. By the way, Andrew is autistic, and I mean, who would know? What a voice. When did you first find your interest in music? Do you know how old you were, maybe?
Well, I've always loved listening to music.
Good. Your dad kept music going in the house sometimes?
Yeah.
And do you remember when you first picked up a guitar?
Probably about when I was 7 or 8.
7 or 8. And did you have a teacher, or did you just teach yourself to play the guitar? Chris, you want to add a little of that right there?
I think he tried it himself for a good while. It's only been about the last 4 years that he's had lessons.
Oh, okay.
From Tom Seymour in Murfreesboro. And they've worked together now pretty steady, about once a week for about the last 4 years. So he's come a long way.
His rhythm is impeccable. You know, actually he didn't need the band behind him, but they fit right in. It was great, and Hank Williams would be proud. You know, I think I've told you this, and I'll tell the audience, when Andrew showed up to audition, he was a professional at what he did. He came dressed the part. Everything was memorized. He knew exactly what to do, and that was really a treasure to me, because sometimes people come in holding a phone in front of their face and they don't have their music memorized, and this is the way a professional reacts. Do you have plans for what you want to do with your music, like where you'd like to go or what you'd like to do, your dreams?
Well, I hope to be on the Grand Ole Opry someday.
Yeah, I believe you're going to make it. I believe you're going to make it. That would be a fabulous thing to get to do, to be on the Grand Ole Opry. And, you know, I've been there and watched what they did, and I was impressed about how families seemed to gather around. Back in the old days, I'm talking about. Families would sit on the stage as their husbands or sons or daughters performed. And I always felt it was a warm and friendly sort of thing. So you love country music, don't you? Do you play any kind of other music?
No.
No, okay. We'll just say that you're a country man and you plan to stay that way. Well, I want to hear another song. You think you're ready to do another song?
Yep.
All right. Let's get the guitars set and the capo moved, and you want to stand up? Okay. All right. What song are you going to do?
All right. Folsom Prison Blues.
Oh, right. Good. Folsom Prison.
I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling round the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Well, I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps a-rollin' on down to San Antone. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry. Well, I bet there's rich folks eating in a fancy dining car. They're probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. Well, I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free. But those people keep moving, and that's what tortures me. Well, if they freed me from this prison, if that railroad train was mine, I bet I'd move it on a little farther down the line, far from Folsom Prison, That's where I want to stay. And I let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. Yeah, I'd let that dadgum whistle blow my blues away.
What does caring look like? This is what caring looks like.
This is setting an example for others.
This is rising to the challenge.
This is doing what works.
This is doing my part.
This is doing your part.
Each of us individually.
Acting as one.
Keeping your distance, no matter how awkward it may seem.
This is wearing a mask.
Over your nose and mouth.
Like we are.
Keeping our distance.
Each wearing masks.
Not under your chin.
Not above your head.
Not in your hand, but over your nose and mouth.
This is listening to the expert. If you'll just
Wear one of these.
Caring makes community.
And this is what caring looks like.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
I feel like we're safe at Parkview.
There's somebody on staff all the time. So if you need help, help is there.
We are surrounded with people that are looking after us and taking care of us.
The staff is wonderful and always available. We feel so safe and secure here.
I feel safe at Parkview all the time.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tellahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Hi, gang. Well, I can't say thank you, camera ladies, today. I can say thank you, camera gentlemen and camera lady Jackie. Thank you for putting a good, contrasty, wonderful, sharp picture on the screen for all our viewers. And thank you, John, for that introduction, and Candy and Fuji. We've had a wonderful winter so far. Sun's out, and by the way, would you be my Valentine? Since today's I'll be your Valentine. This 14th day of February, 2002. Somebody asked me not long ago, said, we're talking about the different wonderful service clubs and organizations in Tellahoma, the Lions clubs, the Kiwanis clubs. There used to be a Civitan club here, an Optimist club, and Junior Chamber of Commerce, and there are other clubs too. One in particular, though, people ask me about, said, well, how long has the Rotary Club been in Tellahoma? And I said, well, it's the oldest continuous service club in Tellahoma. It was founded or organized in 1921, and they received their charter in 1922, which makes it 80 years old, and it's been going strong ever since. And the Rotary Club was founded in Chicago in 1905 by an attorney up there by the name of Paul Harris. He was in his office daydreaming, I think, one day and said, hey, his secretary or another attorney in there or somebody visited with him and said, said we ought to get together with some other business and professional people and exchange ideas about our career and our business. And sure enough, they started meeting together, 4 or 5 of them in different offices or different restaurants for lunch. And that's the reason they called it the Rotary Club, because they rotated between offices and they began to get organized informally, then formally, and they have a classification system in Rotary whereby only one or two from the different careers are classified to be and to have membership. In other words, they wouldn't want 50 or 60 insurance people or 50 or 60 grocerymen or all of the same vocation. They want to diversify so that they could exchange ideas about their career and businesses and meet new people, and that's the way it's been ever since it started. And the Telehome Club, as I mentioned, was chartered in 1922. The first president was a fellow by the name of Mr. Sharp Lanham that founded Lanham Manufacturing Company, which is now Worth Sports. But they met, there's about, I think, 15 and 20 of them, met in the basement of the King Hotel for a number of years, and they would have programs among themselves or an outside speaker, or they have a big variety of programs. They have program chairmen for each week, and they meet every week in the year except at Christmas time. And they don't meet on the Christmas week or other times occasionally. But anyway, they do meet regularly, and one of the requirements for the membership is that members do have to attend their meetings or make up at a nearby club. Speaking of nearby clubs, the Tellahoma Rotary Club founded and was the founding father of the Winchester Club and also the Manchester Club. Up until recent years, there was 15, I believe, clubs in this district, District 6, 7, 8, and today there are 63 clubs in this district that is from Lebanon to Lewisburg and on over to as far east as Morristown and Knoxville and Oak Ridge, Chattanooga, and a lot of the clubs meet in the morning. There are 2 Rotary clubs in Tellahoma, the Noon Club, which is the oldest one, and it established the Morning Club in 1995, so that those that could not attend noon meetings could attend morning meetings. The Morning Club now meets at the St. Barnabas Church at 6:45 every Tuesday. The Noon Club had to move because from the basement of the King Hotel because they outgrew it, and met at in the dining room of First Methodist Church for years and years and many years, and again they outgrew that and met at the what used to be the Commodore, which is now the Executive Inn, in their dining room, and outgrew it, and for a short time moved out to Archie's on South Anderson Street. Well, that wasn't big enough, and the way the dining room was arranged. It could not be the fellowship that's necessary for good Rotary meetings, so they were invited to meet at the Tellahoma Golf and Country Club, and which they still meet there. They have 125 members, and about, I'm guessing now, about 15 or 20 years ago, up until that time, Rotary had always been a male organization. No particular reason for it, except it was just that way. But now, I guess a good 20% of the membership in Rotary is women, and they are leaders in their profession or business too. And the Rotary stretches throughout the world, and many of their programs certainly are just local programs, like they sponsor Boy Scout troops, they sponsor a young man to Boy State every year, and have been for many, many years. And scholarships, they have a program where they send high school or college graduates on leaves of study in foreign countries. The exchange students do that. And we have a program whereby a group of non-Rotarians come from a district on some other continent, come and visit. I know last year there were 5 or 6 Russians that came to this area, Russian business people, and they were delightful and enjoyed their visit here. And we have exchange groups that go to Europe and South America and every other place. And there's a foundation called the Paul Harris Foundation that parents or anybody else can be a Paul Harris Fellow, and they use those funds for education and for the exchange student program. One of the biggest wonderful programs that Rotary has done in many, many years, and it was started by the late James L. Beaumont, who was the president of Rotary International in 1980 and 81, and it was a Polio Plus program. Polio was running rampant throughout the world, and as a project, Rotary solicited funds among their own membership and gave millions and millions of doses of anti-polio vaccine throughout the world, and it is almost completely eliminated, especially in the underdeveloped countries of the world. And they have had projects in underdeveloped countries, such as putting in fresh water and clean water wells and filtration plants. They have sent books and education materials throughout the world. I noticed in the latest Rotary magazine there was a couple of fire trucks that a couple of places in South America had no fire protection in their community at all, and the Rotary Club has sent fire trucks to those places. A great humanitarian place, and one of the successes of Rotary is that the local people get to know each other. The fellowship that's enjoyed within the Rotary Club is real pleasant, where businessmen exchange ideas and help each other. And I sure do thank you for watching today. This is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come, and we'll see you next week.
I got a tour, and I saw all the things, and I was so excited about them. And she took me to the movie theater, and it had red chairs, and this is a done deal, and I like it.
We have so many activities here that you just can't keep up with them all. We have exercise, we have coloring, we have crafts.
It's charming, it's attractive, it's very comfortable. It was one of the best decisions of my life.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment.
He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching.
That's right. No Employee of the Month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tellahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tellahoma, and have some fun with Tellahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, we're back, Peggy, and good show today.
Didn't you love Andrew?
Andrew was incredible. I just think that's the greatest thing. And when I saw him on stage for the first time Sunday, or no, it might have been Sunday. Was it Sunday or Saturday? Saturday when he was working with the band.
Right. Yeah.
I thought this kid is Hank Williams, Sr. Because, Hank, other than with his voice, he didn't have a lot of emotion in his motions.
Right.
As he sang. He's sort of like George Strait. He just stood up there and sang. That's all he had to do.
And he did Johnny Cash with a lot of class.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's worth a ticket just to see Andrew.
I think it is. I think it is.
And what we're going to do here in just a minute is another one of those talented people that's on the show this year, well, it has been for years, is Connor Osteel.
Since he was a little boy.
And he and Gracie got married, and he proposed to her on the stage at South Jackson.
Right.
And they're married, and he has a band, Salem Creek, that his dad and his uncle and brothers and some of them play in.
We're going to play from the courtyard.
Yeah. Their band was out at South Jackson at the courtyard out back this summer. And did a great job, and this is just another one of those stars you'll get to see at the South Jackson Goes Country 43rd edition, 3 wonderful days of different music, different people. Go see them all, but particularly this one, Mr. Connor Osteel and Salem Creek.
Well, I caught this fever chain for you. Goes like this. I got a heart on a big gold chain for you. It ain't diamonds or pearls, but it's all yours, girl. It's the best that I can do. If you hold on till the night is gone, you'll know that it's true. I got a heart on a big gold chain. Watching you since you were 2, and I was almost 4. My neighbors then, now just friends, but I want so much more. I've dreamed of you in your birthday suit, silks and furs and lace. Wrap this thing around your neck, can't wait to see your face. I got a heart on a big gold chain for you. It ain't diamonds or pearls, but it's all yours, girl. It's the best that I can do. If you hold on till the night is gone, you'll know that it's true. I got a heart on a big gold chain for you. All right. Girl, don't you know I love you so? I wanna be your man. I got something here in my pocket, dear, that'll help you understand. I got a heart on a big gold chain for you. It ain't diamonds or pearls, but it's all yours, girl. It's the best that I can do. And if you hold on till the night is gone, you'll know that it's true. I got a heart on a big gold chain for you. I got a heart on a big gold chain for you. How about it, John? Was that close?